Hello again, Dalganash here once more to talk about video games, and today I'm talking about PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, which I'm not going to beat around the bush here. It's Sony Smash Brothers. It is Sony Smash Brothers, and it's designed by Superbot Entertainment, who are a Western developer. They were set up to make this game. Reading off Omar Kendall, who's sort of the lead designer, reading off his tweets, it seems they're designed to build games around this All-Stars brand, not necessarily just fighting games, but this is their first game, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, and they are riffing off Smash Brothers. So what have we got? We've got a fighter. I'm not going to bother talking about single player much because there isn't much, really. It's a very anemic game in that regard. It's mostly made to be played multiplayer with friends or online. And just another note, when you're watching this free-for-all match, the first match is the free-for-all, the second match is the 2v2, just try and focus on one player. So I'm the guy with 4p above my head fighting at the minute. But yeah, let's just talk about the key factor that differentiates it from other fighters and from Smash Brothers, which is the scoring mechanic, the way you win. In other fighting games, it's about reducing a health bar so that you're the last man standing. In Super Smash Brothers, it's about knocking your opponents out of the ring like some sort of cartoonish sumo match. In PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, the way you score is actually when you fight, when you use your attacks on other players, you build a super bar, which are the bars you can see at the bottom of the screen there. And when you build it enough, you can deploy supers, so every character has a level 1, a level 2, a level 3. And the only way to score points, and that's the only way to win, is to hit people with super attacks. When you hit someone with a super attack, you score 2 points, they lose a point. So you've got this idea that you want to be landing your supers, but you also want to be avoiding your enemy's supers as well. Because the amount of matches I've seen someone land loads of supers, but then they've died a lot, so they've lost a lot of score as well. Whereas say I've only landed 2 or 3 supers, but because I have purposely avoided dying to supers, I haven't lost any score. So there's an interesting balancing act going on there with how you play. In 2v2 it really works, and I'll explain that when we actually get to the 2v2 match. In free-for-all, it sort of works. I mean, you can keep an eye on yourself, but it doesn't make a very good spectator game. And I believe that the only thing it needed to do different was add the player's score on the little portrait at the bottom. Because if they showed your score, you'd be like, alright, that guy's got the most score, I'm going to target him with my supers, and then obviously the people watching the game would have some sort of idea of who is actually winning without having to just keep track of the maths in their head. So as far as I'm concerned, that's what the free-for-all matches need, because right now they can be a bit lost and you can end up just yelling at players who are like attacking you when someone else is clearly winning. It's like, oh god damn it. Because the thing is, it genuinely plays a good fighting game. It's heavily combo focused, as I say. It's made by a Western dev, and they pulled in quite a bit of talent from the actual fighting game community. So obviously these are players that have been reared on Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Street Fighter 2, games that have combos. The fighting game community loves combos. Combos are great for games as well because you can get YouTube combo videos instantly, and free marketing. Players just make combo videos for you. It's great. But so it works. It plays a good fighter, but sort of the scoring mechanic is what is going to instantly endear it or turn people off, because it's an odd concept to get your head around. What they've essentially tried to do, I can see what they've tried to do. They've tried to get the kill-death ratio feel of something like a first-person shooter into a fighting game. So just that instant, like, bam, hit you with a super, I earn points, you lose points. It's just that quick trade-off, which is not what fighting games are normally about. Fighting games are normally built on that slow, escalation of a match. It makes it interesting, it makes it a different fighter. It doesn't necessarily make it a bad fighter. In fact, it almost makes it a good fighter. It's an interesting, different mechanic, and certainly helps separate it from something like Smash Brothers. And I have to say that on just a basic fisticuffs level, it may even be better than Smash Brothers. That depends how you like your combos. Anyway, I'll elucidate on that in a minute. Let's look at the 2v2 play that's going on right now. I'm playing as Ratchet. My friend Daniel Fox is playing as Heihachi. And you'll notice that when you play 2v2, it all makes more sense. So, like, it's easy. You can so one of you can be a melee guy, so Dan's playing as Heihachi, whereas I'm playing as Ratchet, so he can get in close, keep him busy, build up his super meter when he's up close, and then I can chip away with my gun and build mine, and then likewise he can keep him busy like this, and then I can launch my super, bam, 2 kills. You can just sort of, you can work things out more in 2v2, and you can plan things more, and you can set things up, and the whole scoring mechanic of the game suddenly makes way more sense when you play it as a 2v2. In a way, it feels to me like they designed the game as a 2v2 and then added the free-for-all mode and just decided, yes, fine, it works, whatever. Because, yeah, I mean, you know, it's up to the other team. They're like, oh, that guy's the range guy. One of us should go after him, take him down, don't let him be cheeky. Oh, and then there's the Kuma special. Kuma just farting and bragging on people. But yeah, so as I say, like, as a 2v2 fighter, I actually think the scoring mechanic really works to an extent, as opposed to when it's free-for-all. But yeah, the combo thing. This game appeals to a lot of people because the fighting, you can pull off a lot more. You can be knowledgeable about combos in this game. Obviously, Masahiro Sakurai, the lead designer of Smash Brothers, one of his key design decisions with Smash Brothers was to avoid those set combos. He doesn't like that about modern fighters, and to be honest, I don't mind it in something like Street Fighter 4, but when it gets to Marvel vs. Capcom levels of, oh, you hit me once, I may as well put the controller down and get a cup of tea levels, that's when that idea of, you know, inescapable combos sort of gets, you can understand where Masahiro Sakurai's design for Smash Brothers was coming from. And actually, when you watch like spontaneous Smash Brothers combos, there's a lot to be said for that design. But again, you know, a lot of people play the likes of Raiden and Dante, as you probably saw in the free-for-all 3 players are actually playing as Raiden. That's because, you know, that combo ethos, it's a lot of fun, and this game does a lot of good things. Like, the combos are fun, the fighting's fun, the 2v2 mode is really good. I just think, you know, on the flip side, you've got menus designed by a 10-year-old on their first day using Photoshop, and then you've got the hodgepodge of art styles and Sony characters and then not so Sony characters. So it's a game of constant swings and roundabouts. It's my most frustrating game of 2012 because on one level I really like it, and then on another level it's like, oh, it's so lazy, and like, this is really awkward and this is odd. But I would say play it. If you can find a friend, grab a friend, play some 2v2. It's worth giving it a look, especially if you like your fighters. So yeah, give it a go. It gets a recommendation.